In this video, we're going to learn about polyatomic ions and what those are, and then we'll learn how we come up with chemical formulas and names for polyatomic compounds. So a polyatomic ion is a group of atoms that likes to stick together. So they'll be involved in chemical reactions and they'll stay as that bundle of atoms together. And they also carry an overall ionic charge. So the example that I have here is known as nitrate. So nitrogen and 3 oxygens like to hang out together and form compounds. And that ion has a charge of -1. So this table shows you a list of some of the common polyatomic ions. So we have nitrate, which we talked about, hydroxide, which is OH negative, so it has a charge of -1. Bicarbonate, HCO3 minus, also sometimes called hydrogen carbonate. Chlorate is ClO3 minus. Carbonate is CO3 with a -2 charge. Sulfate is SO4 with a -2 charge. And phosphate is PO4 with a -3 charge. So the way we write the formulas for polyatomic ions, there's a couple of extra rules added to the crossover rule. So you put brackets around the polyatomic ion before you bring down charges. So in this example, we have lead 2 hydroxide. So lead is a transition metal, so we have to name it in the name. So it's Pb, and then we would have OH, but put brackets around it to carry down the 2. You do not reduce the polyatomic ions. You do not reduce Na2SO4 to like NaSO2. That doesn't work. So we're going to work through an example. So we're going to follow the same rules we did before, except add in those add-ons. So calcium is found in the second group, so it has a charge of +2. And hydroxide, if we look on the table, has a charge of 1-. So we need to bring down those charges. But the first thing we need to do is put brackets around the hydroxide before we bring down those charges. So the 2 is going to come down here beside the bracket, and then the 1 comes down. So if we were to write this again, it would be Ca brackets OH brackets 2. So the 2 came down beside the hydroxide. Our second example is magnesium phosphate. So we look up magnesium, it's also in group 2. So it has a charge of +2. Phosphate is found on the chart, so it has a charge of -3. So those are things we're just always going to have to refer back to, those tables with that information. So the first thing we need to do is put brackets around PO4, and then we cross them over. So the 2 is going to come down beside the bracket, and the 3 is going to come beside magnesium. So our chemical formula is going to be Mg3 brackets PO4 brackets 2. And that is the formula for that one. So when you're naming polyatomic compounds, you write the name of the cation first, followed by the anion. So some examples would be sodium hydroxide, or ammonium sulfate, or calcium bicarbonate. So you actually don't even need to rename the anion because it's already been placed in ion form for the name of the compound.